What if building a tiny sand castle could land you in a courtroom? Or wearing the wrong swimsuit could turn your vacation into a police investigation? We've all seen the classic no running signs posted near every pool, but some places have taken beach and pool regulations to an absolutely insane level that makes zero logical sense. Today, we're diving deep into 50 of the most outrageous, mind-boggling, and completely absurd rules that have actually been enforced at pools and beaches around the world. From getting fined for your choice of towel to being arrested for singing in a swimsuit, these laws will make you question whether relaxation is even legal anymore. Buckle up, because this is the ultimate countdown of rules that prove bureaucracy has officially lost its mind. Let's get started. Rule number 1. At Italy's famous La Pelosa beach in Sardinia, bringing a regular beach towel is actually a punishable offense that can cost you a serious fine. The government discovered that the beach's ultra-fine white sand was sticking to thousands of towels and being carried away by tourists every single year, essentially stealing tons of precious sand. Now, visitors are legally required to use special straw mats that don't trap the grains. If Beach Patrol catches you laying on a fluffy cotton towel, you're looking at a penalty that will definitely ruin your relaxing afternoon. It's basically a war against unintentional sand theft, and the authorities are winning. Would you actually buy a government-approved mat just to enjoy a few hours on the sand? Rule number 2. Florida takes its sea turtle population extremely seriously, and using any white light on the beach during nesting season is completely illegal. Baby turtles are programmed to follow the brightest light to find the ocean, and your phone flashlight or camera flash can send them crawling straight into a parking lot full of cars. The law forces beachgoers to use only red-filtered lights or sit in complete darkness after sunset. It basically turns every tourist into a vampire who can't use their phone for months. Breaking this rule means you're essentially the villain in a nature documentary, leading innocent baby turtles to their doom. Would you give up your phone screen for an entire evening if it meant saving dozens of endangered hatchlings? Rule number 3. In Ocean City, Maryland, tossing a single French fry to a seagull is a criminal act that can hit your wallet hard. This isn't some friendly suggestion on a sign that everyone ignores. It's an aggressively enforced law designed to stop seagulls from terrorizing every tourist. Who dares to eat outdoors? The city got so desperate they actually hired professional falconers to patrol the boardwalk and scare the gulls away. Imagine explaining to a judge that you're facing charges because a bird stole your Cheeto and you didn't stop it fast enough. Do you think humans should really be punished for the criminal behavior of flying garbage disposals? Let us know if you believe the seagulls themselves should be doing community service instead. Rule number 4. If you're planning a family trip to Heraklia Beach in Italy, leave the plastic shovels and buckets at home, because building sand castles is strictly forbidden. Local authorities claim that these miniature architectural masterpieces create dangerous obstacles for people walking along the shore. Yes, a 6-inch tower made by a 5-year-old is apparently a catastrophic safety hazard that threatens the Italian public. It's a bold legal stance against the creative ambitions of toddlers everywhere who just want to build a castle with a moat. Imagine a child being told their sand creation is technically a violation of municipal code. Who knew that a bucket and shovel could be considered weapons of mass obstruction? Rule number 5. New Jersey has implemented a massive smoking ban across almost every public beach and boardwalk in the entire state. Light up a cigarette while catching some sun, and you're looking at a fine of up to $250 for your first offense, with penalties increasing for repeat offenders. The state finally got tired of volunteers picking up millions of cigarette butts from the shoreline every single year. For non-smokers, it's a dream come true and a breath of literal fresh air. But for those who enjoy a smoke with their ocean view, it's a complete vacation buzzkill. Is the smell of tobacco smoke really worse than the natural beach aroma of rotting seaweed and dead fish baking in the sun? Rule number 6. According to a medieval British law from 1324 that is somehow still legally valid, any sturgeon you catch or whale that washes up on shore automatically belongs to the king. If you're fishing off a British beach and happen to land a sturgeon, congratulations, you've just caught dinner for King Charles. Keeping it for yourself is technically stealing from the crown, which sounds like a fast track to royal legal trouble. It's a hilariously outdated reminder that even the ocean's creatures are considered sacred property of the monarchy. Imagine reeling in a massive fish and your first thought being that you need to call Buckingham Palace immediately. The royal family apparently has dibs on every whale in British waters, so don't even think about it. Rule number 7. In Israel, there's an actual written law that specifically prohibits bringing a bear to the beach. This bizarrely specific rule makes you wonder what absolute chaos went down that forced lawmakers to address this exact situation. While most families struggle to fit beach chairs and a cooler in their car, someone apparently tried to bring a 400-pound predator as their ultimate beach companion. Was it a circus escape gone wrong, or just someone who really didn't understand what a beach pet should be? Whatever the backstory, your furry friend with the massive claws will have to stay home while you enjoy the Mediterranean. What do you think happened that made this law necessary? Rule number 8. Hawaii has strict laws against taking lava rocks or black sand from any beach, with hefty fines for anyone caught removing natural resources. But beyond the legal consequences, there's the legendary curse of Pele that supposedly brings devastating bad luck to anyone who steals from the islands. The Hawaiian goddess doesn't mess around, and thousands of tourists mail rocks back to the National Park Service every year, claiming their lives completely fell apart after taking a small souvenir. Whether you believe in ancient curses or just fear the legal system, it's strongly advised to leave every grain of sand exactly where you found it. Is a small rock really worth potentially angering a volcano goddess? Rule number 9. Barcelona got so frustrated with tourists wandering into restaurants and grocery stores wearing nothing but swimwear that they made it illegal to wear beach attire anywhere, except the actual beach. Step 1 foot onto the city sidewalk in your bikini or swim trunks, and you're facing a fine of several €100. The locals were apparently tired of seeing sunburned tourists browsing the bread aisle in their Speedos while everyone else just wanted to shop in peace. It's a harsh reminder that while you're on vacation mode, the residents are just living their normal lives. Is this a reasonable request for basic public decency? Or should a coastal city just accept the constant parade of exposed skin? Rule number 10. Chicago has an incredibly strange law that makes it illegal to fish while wearing your pajamas. Apparently, the city has very specific standards for what constitutes appropriate angling attire, and your comfortable flannel onesie is an insult to the sport. This raises so many questions about where exactly the line is drawn on acceptable fishing fashion. Do silk robes count as pajamas? What about high-end designer sleepwear? It's a bizarre form of waterfront gatekeeping that requires you to change into proper clothes before you can even think about casting a line. The fish in Lake Michigan apparently have a dress code, and they expect you to look respectable while trying to catch them. Rule number 11. In the Italian town of Tropea, an old ordinance once suggested that unattractive women shouldn't wear bikinis on public beaches. It's the ultimate unsolicited opinion written into actual municipal law, implying the beach is reserved exclusively for runway models. This raises the obvious question of who exactly decides the threshold for the attractiveness requirement. Was there a municipal fashion police squad patrolling the sand with scorecards and judging panels? Do you think any town has the right to curate its aesthetic at the complete expense of basic human dignity? It's an absurd way to run a tourist destination that supposedly wants everyone to feel welcome. Rule number 12. If you're visiting the beautiful island of Grenada, make sure your swimwear stays strictly on the sand. Walking through town in a bikini or swim trunks can result in a fine between $270 and higher amounts, depending on the offense. The government is determined to maintain public decorum, even when the humidity makes wearing clothes feel like torture. It's a sharp contrast to the laid-back Caribbean vacation vibe most tourists are expecting. When they book their trip, you can enjoy the crystal clear water, but the second you want to grab lunch, you better cover up completely. Why do you think some tropical islands are so much stricter about clothing than others? Rule number 13. Hawaii's endangered monk seals are treated like A-list celebrities with a permanent restraining order enforced by federal law. It is a serious crime to get within 50 feet of these adorable animals, and fines for harassment can reach tens of thousands of dollars. Even if you just wanted a quick selfie, the locals are incredibly protective of their seal seal population and will immediately call authorities. If they see tourists disturbing a resting seal, volunteers often form human barriers to keep overeager visitors at a safe distance. It's a powerful reminder that while the beach is your vacation playground, it's their bedroom and they take their privacy very seriously. Is your Instagram photo really worth a federal wildlife harassment charge? Rule number 14. Using soap, shampoo, or any cleaning product in outdoor beach showers across Spain and Greece is often strictly prohibited by law. These showers are designed only to rinse off salt water and sand, not for you to perform your complete evening hygiene routine in public. The water runoff typically goes directly back into the sand or the ocean, and the chemicals in your body wash can devastate the local marine ecosystem. Your so-called natural organic soap isn't so natural when it's washing into a coral reef and killing marine life. It's a harsh reality check that your cleanliness obsession might be doing more harm than good. Save your bubbles for the hotel bathroom and respect the beach water. Rule number 15. The Maldives is an absolute paradise with crystal clear water, but on local islands, the rules are incredibly strict about behavior and dress. Alcohol is completely forbidden, and you can only wear swimwear. On specifically designated tourist beaches, wander onto a regular public beach in a bikini or swim trunks, and you are actually breaking the law and facing real consequences. It's a fascinating cultural divide where luxury resorts and potential legal trouble exist just a short boat ride apart from each other. This proves that every paradise destination comes with a terms and conditions document you really need to read carefully. Even in the most beautiful places on earth, local customs and religious values always take priority over your vacation wardrobe preferences. Rule number 16. Florida has enacted strict laws against chumming, which means throwing food or blood into the water to attract sharks near public beaches. While luring a massive predator might seem like a great way to get viral footage for your social media accounts, the state considers it a major public safety nightmare. Feeding sharks teaches them to associate humans with free meals, which is absolutely terrifying for every family swimming nearby. Get caught tossing snacks toward a shark and you're looking at serious fines, or potentially even jail time, depending on the circumstances. It's a firm legal reminder that while everyone wants their personal Jaws experience for content, nobody wants local sharks viewing human ankles as the all-you-can-eat buffet. Keep the shark bait at home and let the ocean's apex predators find their own dinner. Rule number 17. In various parts of Florida, it is illegal to shower completely naked in a public beach facility, even if you think you have privacy. While it sounds like obvious common sense to most people, the law had to be written because some individuals were treating public rinse stations like their personal master bathroom at home. The state wants to ensure nobody brings their complete morning shower routine to a family-friendly boardwalk facility. These laws almost certainly exist because of that one guy who always takes things way too far and ruins it for everyone else. Keep your soap, your shampoo, and your birthday suit confined to your hotel room where they belong. Nobody at the beach wants to see your full hygiene ritual in action. Rule number 18. If you accidentally step on a sharp shell or stub your toe on a rock in St. Kitts, you better bite your tongue hard before any curse words escape. It is completely illegal to use profanity in public anywhere on the island, and that definitely includes the beach. This law is actively and aggressively enforced by local police, and even famous international rappers have been arrested for using foul language during performances. The government takes their polite society atmosphere extremely seriously and will not make exceptions for tourists. It's strange to be vacationing in a tropical paradise where a slip of the tongue can land you in a holding cell. The waves can crash as loud as they want, but you absolutely must keep your vocabulary PG rated at all times. Rule number 19. If you enjoy digging massive holes in the sand, you should probably avoid San Diego beaches entirely. The city has banned digging holes deeper than 2 feet because they can collapse on people or trap lifeguard vehicles driving across the beach. It's a completely practical safety rule that still feels like a massive fun killer for anyone who enjoys serious sand excavation. You can build elaborate castles all you want, but don't you dare try to reach the Earth's core on their watch. It's the ultimate struggle for every dad who wants to demonstrate his architectural prowess by creating an impressive trench. Stay shallow with your digging or the beach patrol will shut down your operation. ocean before you find any buried treasure. Rule number 20. In Dubai, many public beaches designate specific family-only days where single men are strictly prohibited from entering. These rules are designed to ensure that families and women can relax and enjoy the beach without feeling uncomfortable or unsafe. If you're a solo male traveler who shows up on the wrong day, you will be turned away at the entrance gate without exception. It's a cultural approach to beach management that often completely confuses Western tourists who aren't expecting gender-based restrictions on public beach access. Do you think creating these separated spaces makes people genuinely feel safer and more comfortable? Or is it an unnecessary restriction on everyone's equal right to enjoy the ocean? It definitely changes how you need to plan your beach day schedule. Rule number 21. In countless coastal towns across Spain, the infamous towel wars have escalated so badly that actual legislation was required to restore order. It is now illegal to place your towel or beach chair on the sand early in the morning, to reserve a prime spot, and then leave for hours. If police patrol catches an empty chair sitting abandoned at dawn, they will confiscate it immediately, and you'll have to pay a fine to retrieve your plastic throne. From beach jail, it's a brutal crackdown on the passive-aggressive territorial behavior that vacationers have been practicing for decades. Honestly, it's deeply satisfying to imagine a police van filled with abandoned folding chairs being hauled away while their greedy owners sleep in at the hotel. The early bird no longer gets the best spot unless they're actually willing to sit in it. Rule number 22. If you're visiting the stunning white sand beaches of Sardinia, do not even think about taking a handful of sand as a vacation souvenir. It is classified as a serious crime, and tourists have been caught at the airport with jars of sand in their luggage and faced massive fines or even potential jail time for the offense. The authorities treat this sand like it's a priceless national treasure, because technically it actually is. If every single tourist took just one small bottle home, these legendary beaches would eventually disappear entirely. Would you genuinely risk a felony charge and a fine of thousands of euros just for a jar of sand that will probably end up in certain parts of Italy? Playing any ball games or even casually throwing a frisbee on a crowded beach is completely prohibited by local law. The idea behind this regulation is to protect peaceful sunbathers from being smacked in the face by a rogue volleyball or trampled by a sweaty teenager chasing an errant soccer ball. While it definitely sounds like a massive fun killer for active beachgoers, it's probably a relief for anyone who just wants to read a book without entering concussion protocol unexpectedly. It's a surprisingly civil way to manage the chaos of crowded public spaces during peak season. Do you believe beaches should be active zones for sports and games, or should they be designated as quiet relaxation areas for everyone's peace of mind? Rule number 24. Ocean City, Maryland has a very clear message for anyone who thinks the beach is a free open-air hotel room. It is illegal to sleep on any beach between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., and this rule is strictly enforced every single night. This isn't just an attempt to stop homeless camping on public property. It's actually so the massive cleaning tractors can safely sweep the sand without accidentally running over a sleeping tourist and turning them into a pancake. It's a practical safety measure that definitely ruins the romantic fantasy of falling asleep under the stars with the waves as your soundtrack. Apparently, the city believes that if you're tired enough to sleep on sand, you're definitely tired enough to walk back to your actual paid hotel room instead. Rule number 25. Several French beaches have officially banned giant inflatable animals, massive pool rafts, and oversized floating toys because they cause what authorities call visual pollution. These enormous inflatables block the horizon view for everyone else trying to enjoy the natural scenery. If you were planning to float majestically on a 12-foot rainbow unicorn, you might be completely out of luck at many popular destinations. Lifeguards also despise these giant toys because they act like sails, catching even light wind and blowing unsuspecting tourists hundreds of meters out into open ocean. It's a strange reality where your choice of pool toy can be officially classified as a maritime hazard. But honestly, seeing the actual ocean is usually the entire point of going to the beach in the first place. Rule number 26. If you fancy yourself an amateur treasure hunter, be extremely careful in France, where using a metal detector on most beaches requires obtaining a special permit from the local prefect's office first. The authorities aren't just trying to take your found coins and recovered jewelry for themselves. They're actively protecting countless archaeological sites from being disturbed or looted by hobbyists. You might think you're just innocently looking for someone's lost wedding ring, but the government suspects you might accidentally be disturbing artifacts from an ancient Roman shipwreck beneath the sand. It's a surprisingly high-stakes hobby for someone who typically just finds bottle caps and rusty nails. Is the thrill of the treasure hunt really worth the mountain of bureaucratic paperwork required just to scan the beach? Rule number 27. The island of Capri requires visitors to make very specific footwear choices because noisy shoes, like wooden clogs and loud sandals, are actually illegal there. The wealthy residents value silence so highly that they've officially banned acoustic pollution from your feet hitting the ground. A couple was once genuinely fined simply for wearing excessively clunky sandals that made too much noise on the stone streets. Imagine being detained by police because your footwear has too much audible thwack against the Mediterranean pavement. You'd better stick to soft rubber soles if you want to avoid trouble. It's a destination where even your innocent footsteps can become a criminal offense if they're too loud for the elegant neighbors to tolerate. Rule number 28. Hawaii takes its famous aloha spirit of peace and tranquility extremely seriously, and that means you absolutely cannot blast your music on the beach. In many protected areas, using a portable speaker at any volume that disturbs other beachgoers is a quick way to receive a stern visit from a park ranger with a citation book. Authorities genuinely value the natural sounds of crashing waves and tropical birds over your favorite EDM playlist or classic rock hits. It's a law that every single person who has ever been forced to endure a stranger's terrible taste in music can deeply appreciate and support. Is a complete ban on all speakers better than suffering through someone else's awful playlist for hours? Or is the pure sound of the ocean truly enough entertainment for one perfect afternoon? Rule number 29. Think very carefully before leaving your beach umbrella or pop-up tent on the sand overnight. In Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, the city has a strict midnight to dawn clearing rule where any equipment left on the beach is immediately considered abandoned property and will be destroyed by sanitation crews. They don't store your forgotten items in a lost and found. They throw everything directly into the garbage without hesitation. This policy prevents the beach from looking like a graveyard of broken tents and stops people from essentially claiming territory for an entire week with their gear. It's a completely ruthless approach that ensures every single morning starts with a perfectly clean slate, even if your expensive canopy ends up in a landfill because you forgot about it. Rule number 30. In numerous protected marine parks throughout Australia, feeding the fish is considered a major legal violation with serious consequences. While it seems completely harmless and even kind to toss a piece of bread to a beautiful school of colorful tropical fish, it actually disrupts their entire natural diet and creates unhealthy dependence on humans for food. This feeding behavior can also trigger aggressive territorial responses in species that normally pose absolutely no threat to swimmers at all. The authorities don't want the local marine wildlife turning into aggressive beggars at an underwater buffet, harassing every snorkeler who enters the water. It's a classic example of how well-intentioned human help can actually cause serious harm to wildlife. Would you still enjoy your snorkeling experience if every fish viewed you as a giant floating vending machine instead of a passing visitor? Rule number 31. In Cornwall, England, taking even a single small pebble from the beach is technically considered a criminal offense. Under the Coast Protection Act of 1949, one guilty tourist actually mailed an entire box of stones back to British authorities after realizing he had essentially committed a low-level heist against the entire national coastline during his vacation. The authorities aren't being petty about this. They're genuinely trying to prevent serious erosion that threatens coastal communities and infrastructure, but it's still absolutely wild to imagine that picking up a smooth skipping stone could potentially give you a criminal record. Is it really theft when there are literally billions of pebbles on the shore? Or is every single one a vital soldier in the endless war against rising tides? Rule number 32. Florida takes its native sea oats vegetation extremely seriously, and stepping on these protected plants is a guaranteed way to lose a few $100s to fines. These aren't just decorative beach grass planted for aesthetic purposes. Their complex root systems are the only thing holding the sand dunes together and protecting the entire coastline from devastating hurricane damage. However, to an unsuspecting tourist from Ohio, they just look like tall, inviting grass that would be perfect for walking through to get a better ocean view. If you're caught trampling sea oats for a photo opportunity, the fines are absolutely legendary in their severity. It's a harsh lesson in coastal botany that reminds visitors that in the Sunshine State, even the weeds have significantly better legal protection. If you're heading to enjoy the pristine beaches of Singapore, leave every piece of chewing gum at home in your country of origin. While Singapore's famous ban on selling and importing gum is known worldwide, the enforcement becomes especially aggressive in public recreation areas like the coastal beaches. If you're caught spitting a piece of gum into the sand or even just having it in your possession, you aren't merely a casual litterbug. You're a high-stakes offender potentially facing thousands of dollars in fines and possible criminal charges. The government's absolute obsession with public cleanliness means their beaches look almost computer-generated in their perfection. But at the complete cost of your favorite minty habit, is the world's cleanest sand truly worth the total sacrifice of your fundamental right to chew? Rule number 34. In Thailand, the government famously closed Maya Bay, the stunning beach made internationally famous by the Leonardo DiCaprio movie The Beach, for several years to allow the devastated ecosystem to recover from too many tourists. While the beach is now open again to limited visitors, the rules for access are incredibly strict and heavily enforced. There's absolutely no swimming in certain protected areas, and anchoring boats anywhere near the bay is completely prohibited to protect the coral. It's a rare case where the law essentially says you can look at this paradise from a distance, but don't you dare actually touch anything. It's a heartbreaking but absolutely necessary move that demonstrates what happens when humans treat fragile nature like a disposable theme park. Are we eventually going to love all our favorite vacation destinations to complete death? Rule number 35. Boracay Island in the Philippines implemented a total ban on all glass bottles anywhere on the sand to protect the island's world-famous powdery white beaches from dangerous debris. If you want to enjoy a cold beer or any bottled drink, you'd better keep it in a plastic cup or stay at the bar area away from the beach. The fine for having a single glass bottle on the sand is expensive enough to completely ruin your vacation budget in one moment. It's a practical rule designed to prevent painful sand shrapnel from cutting up tourists' feet for years after a bottle breaks. Does a strict no-glass policy make the beach feel genuinely safer for barefoot walking, or does it just feel like you're being treated like a clumsy toddler who can't be trusted with breakable objects? Rule number 36. In Florida, there's a technically valid law on the books that makes it illegal to appear in public wearing a swimsuit if you happen to be singing at the same time. Nobody is quite sure who the anti-musical beach police are, or how they would even enforce this strange regulation, but the law clearly indicates someone didn't want your off-key rendition of Margaritaville ruining the tropical atmosphere for everyone else nearby. It's the kind of obscure law that makes you nervously look over your shoulder before humming any tune while applying sunscreen. Have you ever felt the sudden uncontrollable urge to belt out a power ballad while wading into the surf, only to remember the potential legal consequences? It seems the Sunshine State prefers its beachgoers to be seen, nicely tanned, and absolutely silent. Rule number 37. At Revere Beach in Massachusetts, flying a kite is heavily restricted or outright banned because of the beach's close proximity to Logan International Airport's flight paths. Apparently, a colorful nylon dragon floating at 200 feet altitude is considered a legitimate safety concern for massive Boeing 747 aircraft coming in for landing approaches. It's the ultimate buzzkill for families who just want to enjoy a perfectly windy day by the water with a classic beach activity. You absolutely must check the local ordinances before you even think about unfurling your your kite string. Would you willingly sacrifice your beloved kite-flying hobby for an airline pilot's complete peace of mind? Or do you think the Federal Aviation Administration is being just a little bit overdramatic about colorful toys in the sky? Rule number 38. Luxury beach clubs in certain exclusive parts of the French Riviera have officially implemented bans on selfie sticks within their elegant premises. They claim the prohibition is for protecting the privacy of their wealthy clientele, but it's mostly to stop tourists from accidentally smacking celebrities or rich influencers directly in the face with a telescopic aluminum pole while trying to capture the perfect angle. It's a rare moment of sanity in a world completely obsessed with documenting every single moment for social media validation. If you desperately want a photo of yourself at the beach, you'll have to do it the traditional way by awkwardly asking a complete stranger to take a blurry picture for you. It's a small price to pay for not being that annoying person who ruins everyone else's view with a giant metal rod waving around in the air. Rule number 39. Egypt has implemented incredibly strict laws to protect the Red Sea's magnificent coral reefs, and enforcement is taken extremely seriously. If you're caught touching the coral even accidentally while snorkeling or diving, you can be heavily fined or even detained by authorities until the matter is resolved. Taking even a tiny piece of dead coral from the beach as a vacation souvenir is a massive legal violation that customs officials specifically look for. At the airport departure gates, Egyptian authorities view their coral reef systems as critical national security assets and treat anyone who disturbs them like international vandals committing crimes against nature. It's a powerful reminder that while the ocean feels like a playground for tourists, it's actually a fragile home for millions of species that really don't appreciate our clumsy sunscreen-covered fingers grabbing at everything. Rule number 40. On certain Greek islands, feeding the adorable stray cats that hang around beach tavernas is actually discouraged or even restricted by local health ordinances and regulations. While it definitely feels like a kind and compassionate gesture to share a piece of your calamari with a hungry-looking kitten giving you sad eyes, the authorities are trying to control the feral population and prevent a begging culture that harasses every single restaurant diner. It's a genuinely tough rule for animal lovers who just want to share the wealth with cute furry friends. Do you think it's better to let nature take its own course without human interference? Or should tourists absolutely be allowed to treat every single beach cat like their temporary vacation pet? It's a genuine moral dilemma served with a side of guilt and French fries. Rule number 41. In the coastal towns of Germany, particularly on the island of Langeoog, you are strictly forbidden from digging holes in the sand any deeper than knee height. This isn't because the local council has a passionate hatred for ambitious sand castles and moats. It's actually a serious public safety regulation with practical reasoning. Apparently, deep holes can unexpectedly collapse on unsuspecting tourists or, more importantly, can completely swallow up the heavy vehicles used to clean and maintain the beaches every night. It's an orderly, very characteristically German approach to beach management where your personal desire for an impressive moat is carefully weighed against the structural integrity of the entire beach operation. Do you think a knee depth maximum is a perfectly reasonable limit for a fun day at the beach? Rule number 42. Kenya has taken an absolutely radical stance on environmental protection by implementing one of the world's strictest bans on all single-use plastic products anywhere in the country. If you're caught with a plastic bag, disposable water bottle, or any single-use plastic item on many of their protected beaches, you could face massive fines potentially reaching $40, 0, or even up to 4 years in prison for serious violations. It's an incredibly bold move to save the oceans from plastic pollution, but it can be a total shock for unprepared tourists who are accustomed to carrying their beach snacks in convenient Ziploc bags. This law forces you to be extremely mindful about every single item you bring to the shore. Is this the inevitable future for all global beaches? Or is it simply too extreme and impractical for the average international vacationer to reasonably comply with? Rule number 43. Many Swiss municipalities have implemented strict noise ordinances that effectively ban swimming in private residential pools after 10 p.m. at night. In a country that prizes silence and public order, order above almost everything else. The sound of someone doing a cannonball at midnight is treated with approximately the same severity as organizing an actual riot in your neighborhood. It's the ultimate buzzkill for night owls who just want to enjoy a peaceful float under the stars, without the police showing up to measure the decibel level of their backstroke and issue citations. It's a strange world where a simple splash becomes a prosecutable offense. But when in Switzerland, you absolutely must respect the golden rule of complete and total quietude, even in the supposed privacy and comfort. Portugal recently made international headlines by announcing that playing loud music on many of its most popular beaches could result in fines reaching up to $36,000. In the most extreme cases, the authorities are absolutely determined to protect the acoustic comfort and peaceful experience of sunbathers from the absolute tyranny of portable Bluetooth speakers, blasting at full volume all day long. If you want to listen to your favorite songs and playlists while enjoying the Portuguese coast, you'd better invest in some quality headphones, or your beach vacation might quickly become the single most expensive mistake of your entire life. Is a potential $36,000 fine for playing your music genuinely a fair price to pay for guaranteed peace and quiet for everyone else sharing the beach? Rule number 45. On many beaches throughout Florida, intentionally releasing balloons into the air is classified as a major legal offense, with significant penalties. While it might seem like a beautiful and festive way to celebrate a beach wedding, birthday party, or any special occasion, the environmental consequences for local wildlife are absolutely devastating and well documented. Sea turtles frequently mistake deflated balloons floating in the water for jellyfish, their natural food source, which becomes a death sentence when they consume the indigestible material. The state has finally cracked down hard on this practice, treating balloon releases as a form of aggravated littering against the marine environment. It's a necessary law that reminds all of us that our 5 seconds of visual celebration joy absolutely should not come at the expense of a species that has been swimming these oceans since dinosaurs walked the earth. Rule number 46. In certain parts of Italy, particularly in the extremely posh and exclusive resort town of Forte dei Marmi, it is technically illegal to eat messy or strongly smelling food anywhere on the beach. The local government wants to maintain a high-class, sophisticated atmosphere at all times, and apparently your humble tuna fish sandwich, pungent cheese, or a dripping slice of watermelon completely ruins the refined aesthetic for the wealthy elite sunbathing nearby. It's a truly bizarre attempt to actually legislate what people can eat for lunch, forcing visitors to choose between expensive beachside restaurant dining or simply starving in the sun until they leave. Who could have possibly imagined that a simple homemade picnic could be viewed as a genuine threat to the entire social order of a Mediterranean vacation destination? Rule number 47. Some California beaches have implemented no glass rules so incredibly strict that the prohibition includes even completely unopened, factory-sealed bottles stored in your cooler that you never intended to drink on the actual beach itself. If a patrolling ranger spots any glass container whatsoever in your possession, they don't politely ask you to put it away and enjoy your day. They can issue an official citation on the spot with real financial penalties attached. This isn't about authorities being unnecessarily picky or looking for reasons to fine tourists. It's about the reality that broken glass buried in sand is nearly impossible to fully clean up and can cause horrific lacerating injuries to barefoot beachgoers. For years after the initial breakage, it's a practical rule that most people agree with in principle, but it still catches plenty of visitors off guard who just wanted to enjoy a sophisticated bottle of sparkling water with their lunch. Rule number 48. In several marine parks throughout coastal Australia, it is completely illegal to pick up, touch, or move a sea urchin from its natural position on the reef or ocean floor. While these creatures look like completely stationary, harmless pin cushions that wouldn't notice being relocated, they are actually vital to the overall health and balance of the reef ecosystem, and the government protects them with a strict look but don't touch policy enforced by park rangers. If you're caught rearranging the local sea life just to get a better angle for your underwater photo opportunity, you could be facing a fine that will absolutely make your head spin when you see the amount. It's a firm reminder that we are merely temporary guests in their underwater world, not interior decorators with the right to move things around as we please. Would you still genuinely enjoy exploring the reef if you weren't allowed to physically interact with anything at all. Rule number 49. In Iceland, swimming at the famous Reynisfjara black sand beach is essentially banned for everyone's own safety because of the terrifying phenomenon known as sneaker waves. These are massive, completely unpredictable waves that can appear out of nowhere even on a perfectly calm day and pull an unsuspecting person out to the freezing sea in less than a second. The law is strictly enforced through prominent warning signage everywhere and regular patrols because too many tourists have tragically ignored the warnings just for the sake of getting a dramatic photograph near the water. It's a rare case where the law is quite literally trying to save your life from a nature-themed disaster that kills people every single year. Is any photograph or social media post genuinely worth risking your life in the freezing, deadly waters of the North Atlantic Ocean? Rule number 50. In La Jolla, California, it is strictly illegal to stand too close to or attempt to take a selfie with any sea lion resting on the beach. While this might initially sound like obvious common sense, to avoid being bitten by a 300-pound wild predator with sharp teeth, people are actually prosecuted and fined for simply disturbing the peace and tranquility of these animals without ever touching them. The law was specifically enacted because too many tourists kept trying to treat the local marine wildlife like props and accessories for their Instagram feeds, getting dangerously close for the perfect shot. It's a harsh reality check for the social media age we live in. Sometimes the ocean's residents just want to take a peaceful nap in the sun without being forced to become an unwilling background character. In your next attempt at a viral post, always respect the locals, especially the ones with flippers and teeth.